Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive. Today we're looking at the world of website design.
Okay.
We found a really cool episode of the Design Unlocked podcast
Right.
called Crafting Digital Masterpieces,
Yeah.
the role of a website designer. And
Right.
it's really interesting stuff.
Yeah, I actually listened to that one.
Oh, cool.
Really good.
I think this is something that everyone can relate to, right? I mean,
And totally.
everyone uses websites every single day,
Yeah.
but I don't think most people have ever really thought about what actually goes into making a website.
It's a lot more than you think.
Yeah.
People think it's just, making it look nice.
Right, and that's definitely part of it.
Yeah.
But there's so much more that goes on behind the scenes.
Absolutely.
So in the episode, they actually called it art meeting engineering.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, I thought that was a really cool way to think about it.
You need both sides of it, right? You need the creative, artistic side
Right.
to come up with the look and the feel.
The vision, yes.
But then you need the engineering side to make sure it actually works.
Right, like that it's functional.
Yeah, like the buttons are clickable and the pages load quickly and
All that stuff.
yeah, it's got to be a seamless experience for the user.
Absolutely. And speaking of the user,
Yes.
I was just thinking about how many times I've been on a website and just been totally frustrated.
Oh, all the time.
I can't figure out where to go or how to do what I need to do.
Ugh, it's the worst.
I was actually trying to book a flight a couple weeks ago,
Okay.
and the website was just like a nightmare.
What was wrong with it?
It was just so cluttered. There was just stuff everywhere. I couldn't find what I was looking for.
Yeah, so you just gave up.
I gave up. I went to a different airline.
I've done that before, too.
And that's a perfect example of how bad design can just totally drive people away.
Exactly. Like, if it's not a good experience, people are just going to leave.
And on the flip side, if it's a good website,
Mm-hmm.
you don't even really think about it.
It's true.
You just do what you need to do.
Yeah.
And it's easy.
You're not even really aware of the design.
Right. You're just focused on the content or whatever you're there for.
Yeah, and that's the sign of good design.
So they talked a lot about this idea of information architecture.
Yes.
What is that?
So it's basically how the content is organized and presented to the user.
Okay.
It's got to be intuitive, right? Like, you should be able to find what you're looking for easily.
Yeah. And that makes a lot of sense.
And to figure that out, designers do a lot of user research.
Oh, so they don't just guess what people want.
No, they actually study how people use websites. They create these things called user personas,
Okay.
which are basically profiles of different types of users.
Interesting.
And they do usability testing, where they watch people use the website and see where they get stuck.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's all about making sure the website is designed for the people who are actually going to be using it.
So I know design trends are always changing.
Oh, yeah, constantly.
So how does that factor into website design?
So, you've got trends like minimalism. Oh, yeah.
Bold typography animation.
Yeah, I've seen those.
And those can all be really great for enhancing the look and feel of a website, but you got to use them strategically.
What do you mean?
You shouldn't just use a trend because it's popular.
Right.
It's got to make sense for the brand.
So how do you figure out which trends work for which brand?
Well, it goes back to understanding the brand's identity.
Right.
What are they trying to communicate? Who is their target audience?
Makes sense.
So, for example, if you're designing a website for a luxury fashion brand,
Okay.
you might want to use a minimalist design.
To make it feel like high end.
Exactly. You want it to feel sophisticated and elegant.
But if you were designing a website for a children's toy company, that would be totally different.
Yeah. You'd probably want something more colorful and playful.
Right. To match the energy of the brand.
Exactly.
So they talked a little bit about the future of website design,
Yeah.
and they mentioned AI.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
And I know AI is becoming a bigger part of everything these days. It is.
But how is it going to change website design?
Well, for one thing, AI can automate a lot of the design process.
Really?
Yeah, there are already AI tools that can generate layouts,
Wow.
suggest color palettes, even create basic website structures.
So you're telling me that someday I could just tell an AI what I want my website to look like, and it'll just make it for me.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's crazy.
And it can also personalize the user experience.
What do you mean by that?
So, imagine a website that adapts to your individual preferences.
Okay.
It shows you content that you're most likely to be interested in.
So based on my browsing history or something.
Exactly. It's like the website knows you.
That's kind of creepy.
But also kind of cool.
Yeah, I guess so.
And it could be really helpful for businesses, too.
How so?
Well, if the website can show people what they're most likely to buy, then they're more likely to actually make a purchase.
That makes sense.
So it's a win-win for everyone.
What about designers? Like, if AI can do all this stuff, are they going to be out of a job?
That's a good question. And a lot of people are worried about that.
Yeah.
But I think AI is more likely to augment designers than replace them.
What does that mean?
So instead of taking over their jobs completely, AI will help them to be more efficient and effective.
Oh, okay.
So like it can take care of the more mundane tasks.
The repetitive stuff.
Yeah, and that frees up the designers to focus on the more creative and strategic aspects of the job.
So it's like a partnership.
Exactly.
That's really interesting.
It is.
So if we had to sum up this whole deep dive, what's like the one big takeaway you want people to remember?
I think it's that website design is about more than just making things look pretty. It's about creating a good user experience.
Absolutely.
And that involves understanding your audience, your brand, and using technology effectively.
And thinking about how all of that is going to change in the future.
Exactly.
Well, this has been super interesting.
Yeah, it has.
I think I have a whole new appreciation for what goes into making a website. So I guess for our listeners out there, the big question is, how do you think AI is going to change the websites you use in the future?
It's something to think about.
It really is.
It's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out.
All right. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for joining us for another deep dive.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.